Carlos Estevez's career took off in the late 1980s, marking one of the fastest and most remarkable rises in Hollywood history. Many believed his future would outshine that of countless actors who have since faded into obscurity. Unlike Nicolas Coppola, who distanced himself from his famous family connection to the director of The Godfather, Carlos Estevez chose a different approach. He adopted the surname from his father Ramon Estevez's stage name, Martin Sheen. Since Charles is simply the English form of Carlos, he didn't have to put much thought into his first name either. And that is how he became known to the world as Charlie Sheen. Thanks to his connections, Charlie quickly landed his first major role. He didn't have to start out with small background parts. In 1984, after committing to his career path, Sheen appeared in Red Dawn. While the film isn't particularly well known today, largely due to its somewhat far-fetched script, it performed very well at the box office, earning $38 million on a $4 million budget in US theaters alone. The story of American school kids standing up to communist invaders struck a chord with Western audiences, and earned Charlie Sheen, one of the film's leads, his first real recognition. At that time, Charlie wasn't yet a troublemaker or a drinker, and fellow cast members spoke highly of him. The only complaint was his endless stream of questions about his acting. After nearly every scene, he would approach another actor and ask them to rate his performance, and offer suggestions for improvement. Although Red Dawn put his career in motion, Sheen often accepted supporting roles, sometimes out of loyalty to friends, sometimes simply out of interest. His true breakthrough came in 1986, a year in which he appeared in 6 films. One of them was the cult favorite The Wraith. Even though he starred in the lead role, Sheen spent only 2 weeks on set. With a narrow gap between other projects, he agreed to do the film under the condition that shooting his scenes wouldn't take more than 2 weeks. An interesting side note, Johnny Depp also auditioned for The Wraith, but at the time his only credit was a minor role in A Nightmare on Elm Street. The producers rejected him, and the part went to Sheen. Still, Depp ended up spending a month on set as he was dating Sherilyn Fenn, the film's lead actress. Largely ignored at the box office, the low-budget movie found modest success in certain home video markets, though its overall financial impact remained negligible. Another Sheen film in 1986, Lucas, also underperformed. Today, it is remembered mainly as the screen debut of Winona Ryder, but the true turning point came later that year with Oliver Stone's Platoon. Initially, Stone had envisioned Charlie's brother Emilio Estevez in the lead role. However, constant delays due to funding issues forced Emilio to withdraw as his own career was taking off. Stone then considered many actors, even offering the part to Keanu Reeves, who declined because he didn't want to star in such a dark film. Eventually, the role landed with Charlie Sheen. Interestingly, Johnny Depp appeared in Platoon as well in a small part. If you look closely, you can even spot the name Sherilyn Fenn written on his helmet. With a budget of just $6 million, Platoon grossed an astonishing $138 million at the US box office. It finished the year as the 3rd highest-grossing film behind only Top Gun and Crocodile Dundee. The film received numerous award nominations and won 4 Oscars. While none of the accolades went directly to Sheen, his salary skyrocketed from $100,000 in 1986 to $500,000 in 1987. Though he suffered a couple of flops afterward, the success of Oliver Stone's Wall Street more than made up for them. Following Platoon, Oliver Stone became one of the most sought-after directors in Hollywood, with actors practically lining up to work with him. Tom Cruise reportedly pursued him for Wall Street, even offering to work for free, but Stone turned him down, having already set his sights on Charlie Sheen. Another crucial casting choice was Michael Douglas. At that time, Douglas was primarily recognized as a successful producer, having produced films like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Romancing the Stone. Many advised Stone not to hire him, fearing the two would clash and that Douglas's influence might even threaten Stone's control over the film. Stone ignored the warnings and went ahead anyway. According to Stone, Douglas never interfered with directing, always showed up early, and followed instructions to the letter. Douglas, however, later described the experience as a nightmare, claiming that Stone constantly tried to rattle him. One day, Stone even barged into his trailer and bluntly asked what drugs Douglas was using, and whether he could quit for the duration of filming. Douglas recalled being stunned, but later realized Stone's methods were intended to keep him unsettled. While Stone was busy pushing Douglas's buttons, he also found himself at odds with actress Sean Young. From day one of filming, she pressured him to replace Daryl Hannah with her in the role. When Stone refused, Young began showing up late, unprepared, and causing disruptions on set. Originally, her character, the wife of Gordon Gekko, had a much larger role, but Stone, frustrated by her behavior, reduced her screen time to almost nothing. Ironically, while Daryl Hannah remained in the film, she received a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Supporting Actress for her performance. This made Wall Street the only Hollywood movie in history where one actor, Michael Douglas, won an Oscar, and another, Hannah, won a Razzie. In an interview, Oliver Stone admitted that nearly everyone thought casting Daryl Hannah was a mistake. Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen shared that opinion, but Stone's pride prevented him from recasting. He also assumed Sean Young's hostilities stemmed from her infamous temper rather than genuine concerns. Sean Young, however, clashed not only with Stone and Hannah, but also with Charlie Sheen himself. Their arguments became notorious. On one occasion, after Young told Sheen to take acting lessons or quit acting altogether to spare Wall Street from his presence, Sheen retaliated by secretly sticking an insulting note on her back. No one on set told her until after she had left. What happened once Young discovered the note remains unknown. Stone also gave Charlie Sheen a unique privilege, choosing the actor who would play his character's father. The options were Jack Lemmon and Martin Sheen. Charlie chose his real father, Martin. Later, Stone revealed that Martin Sheen had always been his preferred choice, but he left the decision to Charlie, unsure whether the actor would want to share such an intense film with his father, especially since the two were known for their frequent quarrels. Wall Street wasn't a massive box office smash, but it earned a respectable $45 million on a $15 million budget and quickly became a cult classic. Michael Douglas's career soared, and while Charlie Sheen didn't reach the same heights, his salary rose again. For Major League, which followed, Sheen earned $1 million. He likely could have demanded the same for Young Guns, but since the film was his brother's project, Charlie kept his fee low so as not to inflate the budget. Both films performed well at the box office and went on to spawn sequels. After a streak of successes, Sheen's career began to falter. Increasingly, headlines focused less on his acting and more on his drinking, drug use, and public scandals. One infamous incident involved his relationship with Kelly Preston. Rumor had it that a drunken Sheen fired a gun at her, injuring her arm. Years later, Sheen claimed he never fired at anyone and that Preston had accidentally shot herself. Regardless, Sheen's growing list of altercations led to multiple court appearances, community service, and stints in rehab. By the early 1990s, Sheen's momentum had slowed. For every hit like Hot Shots, there were multiple failures. Even a Clint Eastwood film where Sheen co-starred failed to deliver at the box office. A bigger blow came with Disney's The Three Musketeers. Intended to launch a franchise, it flopped, and all plans for sequels were scrapped. Sheen's first true big-budget disaster followed with Terminal Velocity. Despite earning his highest paycheck at the time, $6 million, the movie flopped. Sheen had only gotten the role after stars like Tom Cruise, Bruce Willis, and Michael Douglas turned it down. His main competition had been Nicolas Cage, who nearly signed on. Had Cage taken the role, it might have altered the trajectory of his career, perhaps preventing The Rock and other action classics from ever being made. Despite poor reviews, Sheen often defends Terminal Velocity as one of his best films. Directed by Darren Sarafian, the movie had a $50 million budget, huge for the time. For comparison, Keanu Reeves' Speed, released the same year, cost almost half that. Unfortunately, Terminal Velocity also marked the downfall of Nastassja Kinski's career, while Sheen survived largely thanks to his 5-picture contract with Disney. His next film under that deal, Shadow Conspiracy, 1997, was another disaster. With a $45 million budget, it grossed just $3 million. The failure ended director George Cosmatos' career and crippled Sheen's as well. His final contractual film, Bad Day on the Block, was made on a shoestring budget and went straight to video. Aware of his declining career, Sheen tried to land more serious roles. At one point, he even offered to pay for his own participation in The Shawshank Redemption. But director Frank Darabont refused to cast him. Sheen hoped for a comeback with the action comedy Money Talks, but the Brett Ratner film underperformed. The following year, Ratner and Chris Tucker struck gold with Rush Hour, but Sheen was left with the box office bomb label. From then on, he drifted into direct-to-video projects and seemed close to disappearing from Hollywood altogether. Then came television. In 2003, Sheen landed the lead role in 2.5 Men, which became a massive hit. However, his battles with substance abuse resurfaced, and his off-screen behavior grew increasingly erratic. By 2011, after years of lateness, scandals, and insults directed at producers and the network, Sheen was fired. Officially, the dismissal was due to his behavior, but many believe money was also a factor. Already making $2 million per episode, Sheen demanded $3 million and threatened to quit otherwise. Some speculate that if he had kept his demands lower, the studio might have tolerated his antics longer. Even after 2.5 Men, Sheen found short-lived opportunities. He earned $10 million for the sitcom Anger Management, but the show quickly collapsed due to poor ratings. Afterward, he faded into obscurity, appearing only sporadically in low-profile projects. In 2015, Sheen revealed that he is HIV positive, adding to ongoing health struggles and endless legal battles with tabloids. Despite everything, he often appears publicly upbeat, though his presence on screen has all but vanished. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.